Doing awesome. Never done a podcast before. Let me. Okay.
So the floor is yours, Joe.
Yeah. Did you?
But so tell me about how you got into business and
All right.
what you
Well,
guys do.
back in the early '90s, my wife and I were paint contractors. We painted for some of the biggest builders in Berks County, and we were painting this one development in 1991. I remember it distinctly. No attic, no basement. And I said to my wife worked with us every day. I said, we couldn't live here. And she just said, why? I said, where would we put our stuff? So from 1991 until 1998, we didn't have I didn't have the money to build a storage facility. We were paint contractors doing the daily grind 6-7 days a week, 12 hours, 16 hours a day. And it was just getting really old, and a really good paying job at the Bachman Pretzel Factory. After we did a whole bunch of like small jobs there, the foreman came up to me and said, hey, do you want to bid on this ceiling? They had a small fire. It was 30,000 square feet of dry fall, and then paint the sprinkler systems red also. Yeah. So we bid on it. We got that job. It was a really hectic job. It was over Christmas shutdown, and their Christmas shutdown, it was like 7 days total we had, but Christmas was included in that. So the guys, I had to hire subcontractors. The guys got into, the subcontractor said, yeah, we'll work Christmas Eve for you. They didn't. We had,
Of course not.
yeah, they came in for like an hour or two and went home. Fortunately, we got the job finished. And rather than blow the profit on a classic Corvette, my wife and I decided to buy the land that we're sitting on now.
Good thinking. Good plan.
Yeah, the classic Corvette can come later.
Yeah.
And so we got into that, and then the bank, we had some issues. We bought the land, and then we ended, if you read my blog story online, we bought the land. Before we bought the land, we searched for land in our area. We found something about 3.5-4 miles from us. And as I'm walking the land, my wife and I are walking the land, she was looking at something else, and I said to the realtor, I said, how can I need a sign on Route 61 so people can see we're back here, because there's a house right on Route 61, an alley, and then us. And the realtor looked as we went up. The dentist across the street from us had a sign across the highway in the farm field before they built this big development across there with restaurants and Subaru dealer and whatnot. He said, well, why don't you just, we walked up to look at that, and he goes, why don't you just buy this house? There was a house right on the corner for going up for auction. So I said something to my wife, but she goes, you want to buy a house to do what? And you know what? We ended up buying the house. We got pre-approved. The auctioneer's doing his chant, and I kept raising my hand, and my wife's looking at me. We don't want to spend that much money for a sign on 61. And he's doing his auctioneer chant, and he goes, you got to live with her. Because he's seen the look she was given.
That's funny. He's probably used to it.
So then after we bought it, it took a little while to do land development and all that stuff. And it was probably that was 98. It was probably almost close to a year till we got land development approved with the borough and all that stuff. Had my surveyor have everything surveyed, where the buildings are going to go. An engineer did everything, and went to the bank, and the bank said, hey, I did all the legwork. I found the contractors. I found the builder. I found the materials. I did all the legwork. Bank said, you can't be the general contractor. I said,
Really?
well, what are you talking about? That's what I do for a living. I'm a paint contractor. I could be a general. Nope. They wanted the responsibility to fall on someone else.
Really?
So, yep. Luckily, one of the builders that we worked for had an excavating company, and he was a builder. And we know him rather well. Tony Foligno from Foligno Builders, Penteco Excavating. I was talking to him, telling him about it. He said, I'll tell you what, Joe. He said, I'll be the general contractor. We'll mark up all our bills 10%. You did all the legwork, just 10% to cover their insurance, because they had to get insurance on the job, all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was more than fair. So we got it all built up, and got going with what we did is one building with it was 72 units in the first building. It was 30 by 300 feet long. Bank said they wouldn't give us any more money till we hit 60%. I'm pretty sure it was 60% occupancy on the first building. So the first building got 60% occupied. We decided to go for the second building, did the same thing. I'm pretty sure Tony had to do the general contractor also for that building. But while we did that, I put the 2 pads in right away for the 3 buildings that we were going to finish up the 3 buildings. And the 1 pad sat until we got 60% occupied on the other building, on the middle building. I quickly read over how we got. I mean, I know what we did and everything, but we got all three buildings up, started renting. Everything was really good. Before we built the climate control building, I can remember one day we were 100% occupied, probably in, let's see, it was early, maybe 2002 ish. My wife and I are sitting at home on a Tuesday afternoon at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the pool with a drink in our hand. And I said to my wife, I said, you know what? This is the only business I know of that when you're busy, you got nothing to do. Think about it. Everybody, you're full, 100% occupied. What the only thing you had to do is a little bit of maintenance here and there, snow plowing in the winter, stuff like that.
So how many units do you have?
The first three buildings was 197, and then we built the climate control building in 2004. So we have a ballpark 325 units, plus or minus. I can take walls out. In fact, when we built the climate control building, I said to Donna, hey, if somebody wants a big unit, we're going to take a wall out and rent them the big unit because we got a big nut to crack every month paying for this building. I still, from 2004, have two people from 2004 in these big units that as soon as they move out, I'm going to put a wall back in because I can make more money with two smaller units.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Since 2004, they've been here storing. I mean, one of our oldest customers has been here since 2001.
Wow.
People store stuff they have that they want to keep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess how many employees do you have? Not many, I guess, right? You're it.
I'm it.
So it's very low employee driven business. It's just you, and then
just me and my wife. She does the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff, and I just kind of run the day-to-day operations. My wife and I, we've done 3-week motorcycle trips out to California, and while we do that, our oldest daughter ran the facility for us, which in turn she actually just finished up a facility on her own about 10 miles from us.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So what kind of software do you guys use to keep track of everything? It's like a CRM?
That's one of the things in 1998, after we did that good job at the Bachman Pretzel. Oh, no. After the job at the Bachman Pretzel Factory, buying the land, figuring out what we were going to do, we ended up going to Vegas to a trade show, self-storage trade show. I said, I have no idea what kind of software we need. We need something that's going to run the facility, open and close the gate. We needed gate access and all that stuff while we were still painting, because we painted up until 2004. So we went out there, we found a company called Quick Store. And the nice thing about it is when I got to the office after work, all the late notices were in the printer, ready to go. I'd fold them up, send them out.
So Quick Store is what it's called? The Quick Store?
QUIKSTOR, yeah.
So that takes care of all the billing?
It takes care of everything. Older facilities used to run on index cards due on the first of the month. Well, I didn't want to do that for the simple reason, at the time, I'm a paint contractor, so I'm not here all the time. I'm still not here all the time. But anyway, I thought, I don't want checks in the mailbox. We had an after hours drop box. I don't want checks in the mailbox, all at one time on the first, second, and third, however people pay. For one, that's a good thing for a criminal to realize, hey, they're getting paid on the first, they're getting a big chunk of cash on the first week of the month.
Yeah.
So we decided to go anniversary date. Well, with this software, anniversary date is really easy to do. It keeps track of everybody's due dates. The only thing is 29, 30, and 31, the software actually prorates your rent to the first, because somebody could technically say there's no February 30th. I don't owe rent this month.
True. Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's one of the reasons they did that.
And so is there anything in the software that you wish it could do that it doesn't do?
Well, there's where we run into an issue right now. I've been running on software since 1998 that we bought.
Right.
We bought software and the 2 quick store keypads to run the facility since 99.
That's what they get in and out, right? They put the code in, they get in the gate.
Key in and out. Everybody gets their own gate code.
Second question. Do you guys have your own locks, or they bring their locks?
We use a cylinder type lock.
So
you can't cut it with a bolt. It looks similar to a vending machine style lock.
Do they get a key?
Everybody gets their own key. Many people call, say, hey, I lost my keys. Do you have a spare? I'm not a key master. I don't keep a spare key. That's up to you to take care of your keys.
So when they leave, you change the lock altogether, or same lock?
No, I get their 2 keys back. As long as I get their 2 keys back, there's no need to change the lock.
Okay, I've always wondered that. Okay.
Now, one thing that if somebody returns 1 key, I pull that lock. I throw it in a big box, and when I got 20 or 30 of them, I can order 1 more key. That way, everybody gets their 2 keys. And go from there, and then spread out through the facility. Nobody knows, if somebody finds their key a year down the road, you're not going to come in here and check 325 units to see if your old key fits one of those units.
No, cameras and stuff around too, right?
And the cool thing about our daughter building the facility, we got the same lock number, like a series. So I just give her some of mine, and she gives me some of
Yeah,
hers.
plus you have like cameras too, I'm sure, around the facility.
Well, that's another thing. Yeah, we got into getting cameras. We have a 38 camera system right now with maybe 26 cameras up and
So
running.
that wouldn't look too suspicious. The guy walk around trying to get it.
And that would look very suspicious. Yeah. We've actually, because of our locks, we've had 3 attempted break-ins, none
Did you?
successful. None successful.
Oh, that's impressive. That's good.
Yeah.
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 So anyway, so the stuff that it doesn't do, software issues. What was
Well,
it?
okay. So then that software, I've been running it up until December 2nd of last year. They came to me and said, you won't be able to accept, with the old software, you won't be able to accept online payments or online move-ins. It just won't do it. So now I'm stuck with a software that's $295 a month compared to free. And the software, it has some good points and some bad points. There's some things in it that I just keep complaining about. I'm like, why can't I send a lien sale letter on demand? They're telling me I have to set up, here's the date the lien sale letter gets sent, and it pops up on my screen saying, hey, well, I don't have to click on it and for 3 or 4 days, because usually I send a lien sale letter out that your stuff's getting sold right around anywhere between 30 and 35 days. The law in Pennsylvania, 30 days is what I can do, but I usually try to cover my butt, and I might go 31 to 35 just to cover myself.
Oh, so you're a little over, so you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to make sure that
There's no like
holiday or a weekend.
yeah. Because if you do it
Even
early,
though
it
the
doesn't
law says
count,
30
right?
days, I'm good
Yeah,
with
31 you can't lose, so 32.
right. And the lien sale might be scheduled out 2 months in advance. So what's 30 days compared to 35 days? What's a couple more
Yeah, what do
days?
you get? Right.
And the nice thing about it is, if I do it that way, if the customer does come in and pay, it saves them a little money because they're not paying the lien sale fee, and certified letter fee, all those fees to get set up for that.
Makes sense. So other than the on-demand stuff, what else would you like the software to do that? Anything automated that you'd rather have currently done for you, where you would have to manually do it? Is there anything you think of?
Actually, believe it or not, it does a lot of stuff by itself, although it does have an AI chatbot.
Right. How's that work?
And, sometimes really well, sometimes not so good at all. I'll ask it a question, and it'll say, "Oh yeah, just do this."
And then,
It's a long, drawn out explanation of how to do it, and I do that, and it doesn't work. I go back to the chatbot and say, "Hey, it doesn't work." Well, you're right, Joe. That doesn't work that way.
because
I get so mad at the chatbot.
I would think that because you would get you tell it what to do, right? The chat box, you tell it what to do, or no?
I ask it questions, yeah.
But you don't give the responses that it gives. Like you can't like for like you ask the chat box what you need, and it tells you what it could do, and doesn't really.
Yeah, I ask it, if I say, "Hey, how do I do this?" Because it's still the same company, Quick Store. The old software, oh my God, it was so bulletproof. Everything was easy to do. So this chatbot tells you to do things that I used to be able to do in the old software. And then when I come back and say, "Yeah, that didn't work," it tells me, "No, yeah, you're right, Joe." So I guess AI wants to please you no matter what.
Yeah.
First it'll tell you the wrong thing, thinking it's right, and then tell you the right thing.
It all
thinking
depends
that
on
it's right.
because how it works is it all depends on what brain they use in the software. So there's different so the software has a brain behind it, like a Grok or a
Yeah,
Claude, right? And then if they don't, if what the some companies do is they put all of them in there, so it gets it enjoys all the answers, and then you get the better answer. So sometimes that might not be the case here because you're probably not getting the best answer they could possibly get.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking, so who answers the phone? So people call in. Is there a
I answer the phone from day one. Originally, when we were painting contractors, I was originally going to allow my mom forward the office calls to my mom. And I thought, well, wait a minute, I got a phone with me every day. Why don't I just forward the office calls to me? So I answered, from painting I'd be 12 foot up on a ladder, spray painting a ceiling,
Right.
not a step.
Right.
And the phone rings. I'd blink my eyes so I get the overspray out of my eyes, try to answer the phone all the way up there and tell them, "Hey, we're painting contractors. I can meet you after work, 5, 6 o'clock." And most times people were very willing to do that. So I do I forward all my calls since day one. I forward my office calls to my cell phone.
Because you might, I know you're not a big fan of the AI, but
Yeah.
I know for us, we started using the AI answering service.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're on the cusp of perfecting it. It's actually a real conversation. People call up, they feel like they're talking to somebody, and they can answer all the questions, and they can't answer them. they get answered. They ask to transfer to a live person, which would be you.
Okay.
Because we'll cut down on calls for you. I mean, you get less calls because you probably don't get that many complicated phone calls.
Well, you know what? I get more telemarketers
Well, that was
than
not bad. Yeah,
customer calls. I'm so tired of it.
well, me too. I really.
Yeah. So I said to him, "Do you think it's because I one of those callers saying, it's you always get the calls, hey, this is Google, your account is not up to date. Please press 1 to verify." And usually I tell them to F off and hang up on it.
Yeah, I've been doing. I've been declining the call, and then my phone allows me to hit erase it and it's marked as spam. Doesn't seem to help any.
It doesn't help. They call
Those are
from a different
numbers.
phone number. I have so many numbers blocked on my phone.
Oh my God.
So many numbers, email addresses blocked.
I have like 1,000 numbers blocked on my phone.
Yep. And the killer is that people say to me, well, if it's out of area, don't answer it. Self-storage, I've had customers in Hawaii. I've had customers in Alaska, Florida, Texas, everywhere in the country. I had a guy that moved in here and he went to Iran to teach English. He'd call me from Iran, and now I'm starting to think, geez, what's the government thinking that I'm talking to somebody from Iran? Especially now, yeah. I'm assuming that he's not there anymore. That was probably 10, 15 years ago.
So that might help you out. The AI answering, we started using it. It's relatively cheap. It would filter all that out, and if they want to talk to a live person, that would transfer to you. That way, it always gets someone like a 9 to 5 or whatever, not actually 24 hours a day. Someone who answers.
Oh my God, I used to answer the phone 24/7.
Me too. I did that.
3 o'clock in the morning, I'd answer the phone. Good evening, Dak Self Storage. Yeah, how much is a 5x5? I'm like, you couldn't wait until 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to call me? Why are you up at 3 o'clock in the morning calling and asking for storage?
So how do you get your customers now? You say you're an SEO guy. How do you market?
I had an SEO guy, and then we stopped doing all SEO for a couple years. But anyway, yeah, we haven't used him now. Since he's trying to get us back on Google, they're working on getting us back. He said he'd do some SEO for me and stuff like that.
And okay. So what's your occupancy now? What percentage are you at?
Right now, we're right around 68, 69%.
Of course, you want 100, but what's a reasonable goal in the next 12 months?
Years ago,
where'd you want to be?
Years ago, national average was 85%. We always 84, 87. We were always right there, except for that year when I said I was sitting on the pool drinking a drink, saying to my wife about busy, nothing to do.
That was higher?
We were 100% occupied.
100%.
Nothing to do.
Unheard of.
No. I read a self-storage web page, what do they even call it? I don't even know. And a lot of people say they're 100%. They're a waiting list. In 2016, between 2017 and 2021, we ended up getting above 85%, up to we were 100% occupied up until 21. And then what we heard was, oh my God, my house sold in 2 days. My new house won't be ready for 3 to 6 months. We heard that all the time. 2020, 21, it fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying houses.
Anything, right? Then it picked up again after that, right? Then people started buying.
Believe it or not, I just started hearing it again. My house sold in 2 days, and my new house won't be ready for 3 months.
Well, everybody's leaving the cities now. They're moving out to the suburbs.
Yes and no. I'm getting a lot of suburb people that are just up, moving to a different house, bigger house, or smaller house. Got kids moved out and stuff like that. Yeah, the average before my new software, I could tell what my average length of tenancy was. The average tenant stayed 24.
Wow. So the average, so one tenant is worth a lot to you, like monetary wise.
One tenant could be worth several $1,000s. Yeah.
Your goal for the next 12 months is what percentage?
I'd like to get up to the old national average of 85%.
85 is good.
Back during the 08-09 crash, we went down to 60% occupancy.
That was the lowest you probably were, right?
Oh my God, it was terrible. At the time, our rents weren't as high as they are now. It wasn't enough to pay the bills. So we're paying bills out of, with credit cards. And it was horrible. And all this government, it was all, hey, well, what about bailing me out? You bailed the banks out, darn it.
Yeah,
little guys, we suffered.
Yeah.
So we finally, got all caught up, got all our credit cards paid off. I'm right now, if I use a credit card, it gets paid off the very next month. I just use it for points.
Oh, it makes sense. So
yeah.
If you get to 85, so what's the 3 year goal? If you want 85 in 1 year, what would your 3 year goal? Is continue that or you what?
I used to talk to a friend of mine who was a president of a plastics manufacturing company. And one day they had a condo down in Atlantic City. We were down visiting with them, spent the weekend with them, and we were sitting on the beach talking about this. And I said, you know what? I'd rather stay 85 to 90% occupied because you always have something to rent. I used to say, would you rather be 100%? This is just an example. Would you rather be 100% occupied and make $10,000 a month, or would you rather be 85% occupied and make $12,000 a month? Because the new people moving in, you can rate, the prices are a little higher.
You lock them in?
No, it's month-to-month lease.
Okay.
Yeah, we do require a 15-day written notice, and that's in the lease. So many
You'd rather
people
be 85% at 10,000 a month.
Oh, no, that's not the actual numbers. I just made
Yeah,
that
but
up.
just saying, you'd rather be that than the 100%.
I'd rather be the 85 at 12,000.
That's 85 at 12,000.
Yeah.
Then, I see. That makes sense.
Because once you're 100% occupied, you're kind of locked into the old rates. You can't raise your rates. So if everybody around you is starting to raise their rents because they're full, why not get new people in at a higher price?
So when people get in, you keep them at that rate for how long are they?
No, usually I'll send a rent raise out 8 months after they move in.
Okay.
Sometimes a year after they move in.
But you can't do it right away like other people. If people around you are
Believe it or not, I've heard some of the big guys, 2-3 months after you're in, you're getting rent raises.
Really?
Yep.
I guess I guess at 100%, if you're 100%, right, then you could raise stuff because if somebody leaves, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. You could do that, but I'd rather keep the customer happy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Why force them to leave if it's a good customer that pays you every single month on time?
Does it cause any problems?
There's no problems. And the weird thing about self-storage is I only know my bad customers' names.
Of course. Well,
the ones that are constantly late.
Yeah.
Constantly calling. Well, can you waive that late fee? You've been late every month since you moved in.
That makes sense because there's no real interaction with you. They go in, they take their stuff out. You really, unless they see you walking around, they really have no interaction with you at all. Why would
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Believe it or not, at the beginning, I used to know everybody's name.
Right. Really?
Every customer's name. They'd come in, hey, John, hey, Bob, Sally, whatever your name is. Now, since we've done motorcycle trips and my daughters move people in, it's like, I don't know who the heck that is. I have no idea. We were on a motorcycle trip one time, and my daughter she said, Dad, this guy moved in and signed his name with an X. I said, that's really odd. So when I got home, I looked at the lease and I happened to see him moving in, and I said, I don't want to say his name. I said, hey, can you come in here a minute? My daughter said you signed your lease with an X. Showed it to him. He goes, he pulled out his driver's license. He had an X on his driver's license.
How do you get away with that?
It's perfectly legal.
Really?
Get this. He had a reason for doing it. He said he worked for a 3-letter agency. And I said the CIA, and he said, I can't tell you. So I'm just assuming the CIA.
Right. Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Oh, he told me a whole bunch of, these conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Some of them are not conspiracy.
I bet. That's all.
Yeah. So, we get such a broad range of customers.
I bet.
I've had so many customers come in, but about that 15-day written notice, I got tired of people saying, you never told me that. So I actually have an addendum page on the lease. It's down. I put it down on line 10 in the middle of it, so it doesn't look like I added it. So I ask everybody, please read line 10, must give a 15-day written notice to cancel the lease and get your security deposit back. And I ask them the initial side of it. So now when people say I never told them that, wait a minute, let me check your lease. Yeah, I definitely told you. It's on line 10. You initial the side of it. I got tired of people saying you never told me that.
So I always wondered this. So walk me through this. So if somebody stops paying and their stuff is in there, how does that storage wars really work? How does that work?
Yes.
I see it. So how does that work?
Before storage wars, we were lucky to get 3 people to come to our auction. It was always the same 3 people. I had John, I had Little John and Big John.
Really?
And somebody else would always show up. Storage wars came about. Next thing you know, I'm getting 100 people here at the auction.
Really?
I do the auction myself. In Pennsylvania, I had an auctioneer friend said, you can't auction that yourself.
Why not?
You need to hire a professional auctioneer or, a cert. So I checked with the Self-Storage Association president. He said, Joe, you have a lien on the property. It's your property.
You can do what you want.
However you want.
So I have a storage unit there, right? I stiff you. I don't pay, right? I leave, and then you go through all the process of
lien sale letters. They get
it's just
2 certified letters.
The same as like a tax lien on your house, right? Kind of thing. sort of.
Well, our lien sale letter pretty much states that, hey, you're more than 30 days delinquent. You owe this much money. And from the date of the sale, the letter, the sale has to be more than 30 days from that.
So how long does it take to actually go through the sale of the unit?
It's rather quick. 5 minutes. When there's 100 people there, it took a lot longer. In fact, I missed a bid because there were so many people. I always called them looky-loos. I missed a bid because after the sale, I gave it to somebody else, and somebody said, hey, I actually bid, but that guy was in the way and you didn't see it. For one, he should have yelled out, hey, I bid that.
So after I don't pay, I'm the customer. I don't pay.
You don't
30
pay.
days later.
30 to 35 days, I send a lien sale letter certified saying, hey, you haven't paid. Here's what you owe as of today. Here's the date, and it pretty much states, here's the date of the sale.
How long after that is it? 30
days after. Well, it could be 30 to 60 days after
it's pretty
letter.
quick. It's not drawn out process.
No, it's not like renting an apartment. In fact,
it's not like years later. Yeah,
the house that we bought to put the sign on, we rented that to people.
Forget
I don't like renting to people. I'll store your stuff all day long. It doesn't complain.
People are not fair. Yeah, no.
I got my doorknob is loose. Well, get a screwdriver out and tighten it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they can never get rid of them. So forget it.
Oh yeah, I've got stories about that. Yeah.
But so I'd say 2 months goes by. I'm still gone, and now you're selling.
So the sale is at 11 o'clock on a Saturday.
Okay.
I purposely stand by my gate or on the wait to make sure nobody's coming up with a fistful of money saying, don't sell my stuff. I'm here to pay.
Last chance. Right.
Because you got up until the day of the and time of the sale to come and pay.
So you can walk in like 10:59 and be like, here, Joe.
Somebody could do that. Yeah.
And it's off.
I burned myself one time, snowing like hell. And a guy was up in Schuylkill County. He said, I'm on my way. I'm going to pay you. So I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tentatively bid, since it's snowing, I'm going to cut you a break. I'm going to tentatively sell your unit and tell the people that I'm doing this. If the guy doesn't show up,
you get it.
It's theirs.
Right.
Well, he didn't show up, but everybody left. And then everybody the person I called, he said, yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want it.
No way. You got stuck with it.
So I put it into the next sale, and believe it or not, the bids got higher than the first time.
Really? So people get to look it like I saw a TV show.
Just like Storage Wars. I open the door, you don't go in it, you don't touch anything. Nope.
You have to peer through it. That's real, right? You just look in there, like from the outside.
Just look in what you can see. And sometimes the most I ever got, we're not like Storage Wars where they get $10,000, $20,000. The most I ever got was a 10 by 20. I got $645, and the girl owed me $650, and this is 25 years ago. Near the beginning. And I thought, well, I'm washing my hands of that. I'm not going to send $5 to collection,
So you don't go in yourself to check what's in there?
Nope. I don't care what's in there.
Are you allowed to?
Technically, in Pennsylvania, we're supposed to inventory the products, the items. My thought is always, suppose I'm in there inventorying the items. I pick up Aunt Tilly's $10,000 antique mirror, and when I set it down, it crashes to pieces. Now they come to pay. Am I responsible for Aunt Tilly's antique mirror?
Good point.
So I'm kind of like, I'm not touching it. I walk in the unit, I snap pictures because I've used Dan's. He has a storageauctions.net, so he does online auctions, and I've used them a few times. But my bidders that show up, they don't like it because they get here. They get here, and I say, hey, I already got a starting bid of $150 or something. And we Berks Countyans are notoriously cheap. I'll look at a unit and think, that's got to be a couple $100, and I'll start it out at $150. Somebody offer me $25, and it might get up to $175, close to where I started. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'll look at a unit, think, man, I'm not getting anything for this, and all of a sudden the bidding goes crazy. What are these people seeing? I don't know.
Really?
Yep. Some of my bidders, they say that we have to advertise in the newspaper. They say they actually research the names to see what they do for a living.
Oh, that's a good idea.
To see what they may have in storage and all that kind of stuff.
So Dr. Smith has a storage might be a little
better, yeah. Or is it a professional snowboarder or something? Might have a whole bunch of ski equipment and snow equipment in there.
Like a pro fisherman or something. That would be good too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just amazing. We ended up buying a facility from the one builder we worked for. I should have got into that earlier. 6 o'clock in the morning, right before Christmas, I said to Donna, you know what? We don't have anything to do. Let's just sleep in tomorrow. Well, 6 o'clock in the morning, the vice president of Farino Builders calls us and said, hey, Joe, we know you have that facility up in Leesport. Would you like to buy AOK self-storage, which was over near where they were in Sinking Spring? I said, well, show me the numbers. We ended up buying it dirt cheap. They held 20% for us, had to pay that 20% back in the first 5 years, and it was ours. We bought it dirt cheap in '01. In '07, I sold it for one heck of a profit.
Oh wow, good.
Yep. I got tired of running every morning. I'd run over to the Sinky location, do a drive around, check to see if anybody left any payments at the box, make sure there was no damage or trash left. And then I'd come up here to Leesport. This is my baby. I build it from scratch. Come up to here to Leesport. As soon as I pull in, hey, I'm sitting outside your Sinking Spring gate. I want to rent a storage unit. It's like, you couldn't have called me 20 minutes earlier when I was there.
Right.
I got tired of running back and forth. And, granted, it might only be about 10 miles, but still, the traffic and it was just a pain in the butt. Some people love having multiple facilities, but they got somebody running it for them. There's somebody sitting in the office all day.
Right.
We don't sit in the office all day.
Right. That makes sense. So
yeah,
I mean, and you don't know exactly what yours does, but what does an average size storage place gross a year? Your size? Like what's the
at 100% occupied?
So that
we'd be well over 500.
500,000 a year for 100%. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you guys have parking spots too?
We used to before we built the climate control building. In fact, if you want to log in and maybe throw a space view of our facility, there's the climate control building is the big square building. We used to have boats, cars, and campers here for that. That was a pain in the butt.
Really?
Tarps blowing off of boats or cars.
They parked their boat there and they rented the space.
Yeah. Right?
And then that was a pain in the ass.
Oh my God, I was tired of I was just tired of, and then nobody. I never really, because I knew it was only going to be temporary. I never assigned spaces. Said, hey, wherever you find a space, just park. I didn't know who they were. Yeah. In fact, before we built the building, I had to send all my outdoor tenants a letter saying, hey, we're gonna have to get your stuff out of there. There was one person that nobody ever responded. I had no idea whose vehicle was. I ended up getting the police in here to do to search the VIN number to find out their name.
What happened?
When we found out their name, then I finally got a hold of them and said, hey, didn't you get my letters? Oh no, we moved. Well, yeah, I needed to get your stuff out of here.
Yeah. So then that space turned into your climate control.
That's where the climate control building is now. Yeah. In here we got, let's see, there's a ballpark, 120 units in here, about 65 downstairs and about 60. Maybe it's closer to 130.
Oh, so there's 2 floors.
Yeah, we built it was sloped, so we built like a bank barn. Access the lower floor from down below, and up in my office, you drive up to the top.
Yeah, because I've seen these before where they have like the garages all on the bottom, and they have one where it's like small like closet ones that have like 2 floors. People go in there. Smaller units. It's kind of like that sort of setup.
No, wait, run that by me again.
So I've been to storage where they have like the garage ones are all on the lower level.
Okay.
They have another building with two or three floors that have like small.
No, what we did is I don't have any outdoor storage in the climate control building. It's all inside.
All inside.
All inside.
But then you have garages, right?
No, you can't drive a car in.
No, but aren't they like garage shaped?
Yeah. I have
garages. I mean, like
in fact, the one guy that moved in that I said he's been here since, and I took the wall out. He's in a 10 by 25. That's a pretty big unit for a climate controlled heated and air conditioned.
They're like garage shaped, right? Kind of like there, but they're like,
Yeah. It's just inside the building and has a big roll up door, just like all those mini storages you see along the road.
Yeah, and then you guys sell like extra stuff too, like moving stuff.
Yeah, I have. Believe it or not, I have boxes and packing tape and miscellaneous stuff like that.
Yeah, ropes and stuff like that. Right?
It sells in spurts.
Yeah.
I might not sell a box for 4 or 5 months, and then somebody will come in and say, "Yeah, I need 25 boxes." It makes no sense. And then the week later, somebody says, "Yeah, I need 10 boxes." I don't understand it. It's just all in spurts. Yeah. So as much as like reading the self-storage talk online, people saying, yeah, they do rather well with boxes, but they really push the stuff,
Right.
Hey, how many boxes do you need to do your move? I don't feel
I see. Like when they come to get the
to move in,
move in. It's like, hey, how many boxes do you need? You want to?
Yeah, so they kind of plant that in their head that
that's not bad. Yeah,
and it's a good idea, but I just feel like a shark doing that. Look, all you got to do when they walk in, they see the boxes. If they want a box, they're gonna get a box.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
I guess I'm just not real pushy.
Now, is there anything else you want to talk about the business at all? If the people listening want to hear where you guys located, and
we're in on. Yeah, like I said, the first facility when we build it, I look for something close to home, and we're right outside of Leesport, Pennsylvania, in Berks County. Literally, Route 61 is right across the alley, there's a house, and then Route 61. So it's easy for people to find. I tell people, hey, where are you coming from? North or south on 61? If they're coming from Hamburg, I tell them you're going to turn right after the Turkey Hill at the traffic light. If you're coming from Reading, you're going to turn left at the traffic light after the Steve Moyer Subaru dealer. So we are easy to find. Some people really want to be on a right on the highway.
Makes sense.
But I think the nice thing about this, so many people say, "Oh my God, I never knew you were back here," and I live in Leesport. Never seen you back here.
Really?
Yep. So that might be a good thing to keep people away from the facility that don't need to be it. Nice thing about it also, there's a kitchen cabinet manufacturer right next to us. Well, they added a big extension on and put a fence from their building over to our fence. So that blocks out, oh my God, almost half of the whole fence line that nobody can get to. Because their fence didn't. So it's a double fence they almost have to go through unless they come in from the railroad, which would be a pain in the butt.
I see. So advertising, you never thought like advertising on the roads or anything? Like advertise other than the SEO marketing? Do you market like on the like billboards or anything like that? Or
no, we don't do billboards
just like that, right?
I've tried different things, merchandiser, the penny pincher, stuff like that. I've tried Facebook ads. I've tried one time a local restaurant, I tried a coupon in their menu.
The menu thing,
yeah. And believe it or not, for the at the time it might have been $165, $175 for the menus, maybe $225. I don't remember. I got one person came in with the coupon.
One with the coupon. Wow.
One with the coupon. And at the time we did a one-time $10 lock rental fee. So I said, I'd give the lock rental for free. Now I waive that fee. It's because it's actually in our lease. There's one-time $10 lock rental fee.
So most of your marketing,
it's similar to vending machine style lock.
I see. So most of the marketing is basically like word of mouth, right?
Word of mouth and internet.
Internet, yeah.
Well, it used to be the Yellow Pages, which used to be $1,000 a month per book.
Whoa!
And we had 2 books in the area.
$2,000 a month.
$2,000 a month.
Wow. Well, back then there was only game in town, though.
That was the only game in town, and I actually did research. My software, this new software doesn't track. I might track that. It tracked how, because I always asked, how do you hear about us?
Right, of course. I
phone
do the
book,
same thing. Right.
Yellow Pages, which phone book? Believe it or not, I tracked it for a whole year, several years in a row. $1,000 a customer it cost me.
It cost you $1,000.
12.
Really?
It just wasn't worth it. So now I'm so glad about, the internet took the Yellow Pages away.
Oh, it killed them. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. $1,000 a classmate. That's not good. That's not good.
That was not good at all, but you were forced into.
You had to be in the book.
You had to be in the book.
You're not a real company then, right? Because people don't believe you that you're real.
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy how people used to use the Yellow Pages. In fact, believe it or not, maybe I bet you 5-6 years ago, I actually had an older gentleman. He found us in the Yellow Pages.
Really?
I said, you must be
really?
looking at at least a 5 to 10-year-old yellow book. He said, yeah, I keep them.
I keep them. You have the TV guides in there too while you're at it?
Yeah. Yeah, people. This is a really strange business. I mean, it really is. It's great. Low maintenance. I have to fix door springs once in a while. I do all the
lights and stuff. Change lights once in a while. Right?
There's no lights in any of the units outside. In here, in the climate control building, I switched everything over to LED. So
that'll last a while.
No, not necessarily. They're junk.
No,
I've had some of the 8-foot fluorescent LEDs. I've changed to LED 2 months, 3 months, gone.
That's it?
Yep.
Wow.
Same with I switched all my outdoor lights to LED, and it's crazy how often I'm replacing those darn things.
Oh, that's not the point.
Yeah, I keep thinking I just should have stayed the way I was and paid the electric bill. And that was right. And then if you got what you needed, I hope I didn't go on.
And then we'll see what we can do for you.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Building done.
Have a good day. Have a weekend.
Take care. See ya.
You too. Thanks.